Now, some investigations are still ongoing in the House of Representatives, and one of such investigations has to do with the possibility of reviewing downwards the pump price of petrol in the country. The investigation continued through the week, and here is how it went.
We have NPMC.
It's the continuation of the public hearing on the review of the pump price of petrol in the country by the House of Representatives. Appearing before the ad hoc committee is the Minister of State for Petroleum, a Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, and officials of other departments and agencies in the petroleum sector. The lawmakers expressed some of their concerns.
It is believed by many Nigerians that the PPPRA template is currently padded.
There are cost elements that are absolutely unnecessary at this time, and we can do away with those unnecessary charges and reduce the price.
I'm saying that there isn't padding here. 71% of the cost is for the product and freight. Where the problem is on your foreign exchange rate of conversion. There are two key elements in the template. One is how much do you buy it, and how much is the foreign exchange conversion.
The minister also speaks on the issue of petroleum subsidy.
What we need to do today, because of the movement on the foreign exchange application, is to begin to say some of the points that he raised. Can we be more efficient in templating to be able to cover the gap that we see emerging? Two, is there something that we can do in interim on the foreign exchange conversion aspect to keep the prices from, quite frankly, jumping above the 145 where they are? And we're working on those. I'm sure we'll come up with something very quickly.
The lawmakers then sought to understand what has been done to make sure local refineries start producing.
I've publicly, consistently said that the target for this government, or the president, or His Excellency, is that by 2018 December, NNPC must be able to deliver on some of the tasks I've given them, one of which is that we must be able to reduce petroleum importation by about 60%. We expect at least one or three of those should have come to high capacity. But by 2019, we should be able to exit complete importation of petroleum products in this country. It's also going to be boosted by the fact that Dangote obviously is building one. So we expect to have an excess situation then.
Another investigation also took place in the House of Representatives, and this one did not quite go as planned. Let's take that report.
It's a packed hearing room in the House of Representatives filled with former government officials, federal lawmakers, contractors, and concerned Nigerians. They are invited to this investigative hearing organized by the House of Representatives Committee on the Federal Capital Territory, which is probing allegations of irregularities in the Centenary City project. The Centenary City project was initiated in 2014 by the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan and was projected to stimulate foreign and domestic investment. However, there have been allegations that the allocation of land to the developer of the project did not follow due process. But the investigative hearing got off on a shaky start when the former secretary to the government of the Federation made his presentation.
Mr. Chairman, I want to put it to you that you have personal motives, and I will state the two motives clearly. One, you have told everybody that cared to listen that when the former Director General of Securities and Exchange Commission accused you of demanding bribe from her, you pushed for her sack, and I refused to sack her as Secretary to Government. And so, hold on.
He was cut short midway.
Mr. President, to use the platform.
Then allowed to continue.
Mr. Chairman, we only discovered your game plan for the postponement when you started sending messages to the Managing Director to come and see you privately. It was after all your efforts to get the Managing Director to come and see you privately failed that you confirmed this date. I want you to know that nobody will see you privately, and we are here for the hearing. Good. We'll have the hearing. Good. Mr. Chairman, honorable members of the committee, distinguished senators, ladies and gentlemen, I am convinced that Mr. Chairman has a deep-seated personal interest and bias in this matter. And so he is not in a position to guarantee fair hearing to myself, to the Centenary City Management, and indeed to the entire subject matter. I accordingly demand that that Mr. Chairman should disqualify himself and let the Vice Chairman take over and let us continue. So, Mr. Chairman, you can hand over to your Vice and excuse us to continue. So you should be able to disqualify yourself, otherwise there is no reason anybody will submit himself to a system and to an arrangement that does not guarantee fair hearing. So we are here for the hearing, we are ready for the hearing, but we should get fair hearing.
Thank you for your contribution. We had excused you at the beginning of this program. The excuse is still open. If you want to take the option of excuse as a former presiding officer of the Senate, on the strength of that, my ruling here is that I am going to preside over this public hearing, and this public hearing will continue. I so rule.
Out of nowhere, another drama involving the former FCT minister sprang up.
Mr. Chairman, I want to raise an operation, please. Mr. Chairman, you know that I'm a former minister, a senator. I came here, you recognize everybody. Introduce the
I don't want it. You have already disrespected me.
former Senate member and Minister for FCT, Senator Bala Mohammed. Let us give him a round of applause.
With calm restored, the hearing continued. The committee members were briefed by those summoned that the Centenary City project, comprising 1,267 hectares of land, is owned by two companies, namely Basic Start Company Limited and Company First Limited. But with allegations of bias by the chairman of the committee, who has refused to stand down, there are questions bordering on the credibility of the entire exercise.